Yay, Obama's president again. I was up until 5 a.m. to see that happen, but what we're all really interested in is the Bleach 515, which has just come out. So it starts, the Quincy have already left, and it's just an aftermath chapter basically, with everyone getting healed. And we see, I think that's Iamura, and he says, everyone head this, everyone head there. And we get to see Hinata, which is pretty cool. And it starts off in the 4th division, and basically it's Isane, and she's like, finally they started taking in the wounded. Even during the battle, no one was carried here, which we saw Unohana and Isane standing by the window gazing at flower vases. And so she starts to question if it was really correct for them to stay in the 4th division building the whole time. If they'd gone to Seirete, they might have been able to save more people. Unohana is telling her that you can't talk based on feelings. It's easy to get anxious and run. So, Sane starts crying, and we find out that Yamamoto's last order he gave to Unohana was to stay in the building no matter what. So they were obviously worried that the Quincy would target the healers. And so the chapter's called Relics. It then goes to Ichigo, and he's, I think, still in the 4th division, I'm not entirely sure. But apparently, Kisei Urahara sent them a message saying that everyone's alright. They couldn't get a vocal message, just a written one, which is interesting, because it could be anyone sending that message, which is clearly what we're supposed to think as to the reason why they haven't got a vocal one. We then see Ikaku raging. He thinks that the captain, Zaraki, has died, but the dude who wants to tranquilise him doesn't think he has died. Ichigo then talks with Hinata, which is kind of cool. We haven't seen that for a while. And he says he's already got his first aid treatment, and people who are more seriously wounded should be attended to first. And Hinata is like, no, you're really hurt. And then Shinji arrives, and he says to Ichigo that he finished operating on Rukia and Renji, which is really weird because I don't think Shinji was a healer. But they arrive in the intensive care unit, and apparently they need to be healed with more than just Reiatsu. But they're out of danger and their conditions are stable, so Hinata leaves. And then Rukia starts talking to Ichigo. They have a bit of a comedy moment. I'm sorry, I'm not feeling very well at the moment. But Rukia thanks Ichigo for coming to protect Soul Society, and he, as usual, he's modest, and he says that he couldn't do anything. But Shinji says that he chased away the enemy's boss, which isn't really true, but, they'll let him think it for now, I suppose. But Shinji tells him to be proud. And then someone from the 12th Division tells him to come to Captain Kurotsuchi for the Zanpakuto thing. I'm presuming this means to fix his Bankai after it got snapped by Hashfold. But yeah, Ichigo runs off, and Shinji looks at him from the window, and he says, you don't even heal your wounds, you're always thinking about others. And Rukia wonders as to why Ichigo has such a sorrowful face. And, Shinji says his Zanpakuto got broken, he wasn't able to save anyone, he must be really tired. But Rukia wonders if it's just that. And this is the same woman who realised that Ichigo wasn't himself back in the Eyes of the Victor chapter. This is the same girl who knows Ichigo well. She knows when he's feeling bad on the inside, and he's hiding something that's shouldering something far more dangerous, which I presume is the whole Quincy revelation of last chapter. So then we go over to the 1st Division barracks, and all the captains, apart from Byakuya, Kenpachi and Yamamoto, are together, and they couldn't find the body of Yamamoto, just his broken Ryujin Jaka. And Ukitake says the body must have been destroyed, and we get this really almost surreal image of all these captains about to cry, especially Soifon. And then we get to the chapter that I'm not sure I particularly like, the part of the chapter I don't particularly like. One of the guys from the mobile force arrives, and he says that Kenpachi and Byakuya were able to escape death. Oh, I'm not too sure I like that. But then he says, however, it's difficult to think they'll ever be able to resume their captain duties again, and there's a chance they might not even wake up. So is he just going to leave them comatose for the rest of time? That doesn't seem to make much sense. Why not just kill them? Especially after all that build-up to Byakuya's death. I can understand Captain Zaraki, because he didn't really have any build-up whatsoever to his death, but Byakuya got loads of chapters worth. But anyway, Soifon rages at the guy. She's like, "Stay back! I don't want to hear that now. You know, the Captain Commander just passed away. What else do we have to hear?" And to be honest, this is kind of annoying. I don't particularly like Soifon that much anyway. I think she's too childish and too young to be a captain. I know Toshiro is as well, but he's almost a bit more mature than her in some ways. But yeah, she rages at the dude, and Kensei's like, "Stop it, you're pitiful." And then she has a go at Kensei, saying that you're calm and collected because you didn't like the Captain Commander. And he's like, "How dare you?" And then Komamura shouts like, "Stop it, Soifon. Do you think you're the only one that wants to scream?" And Komamura's missing an ear, and he looks really kind of weird. Maybe it's time for him to suit up again in his helmet. But Soifon, looks at him like he's about to cry again. All the captains are about to cry, and it's really weird. It's a really surreal scene. They're all bitterly arguing amongst each other now that they don't have a leader. Everyone's about to cry, and then suddenly someone starts clapping, and he's like, "Okay, guys, let's not fight, let's not fight." And Shunsui walks in, sporting a badass eye patch. He looks really cool, and he's like, "Normally after all of this, you'd have all gotten a knuckle from Yamaji." And, it really seems like Shunsui is taking over the role of Captain Commander, which is interesting. I didn't think that would happen like this. I thought maybe he was too flighty to become the next Captain Commander, but he's certainly appearing that way. Shunsui says that 13 divisions weren't created to mourn the dead or feel sorry for a destroyed Soul Society. We get this really cool picture of him. They exist to protect the Soul Society. And, with that revelation, Shunsui tells them to look forward. So, to me, this... And he's also, I've just noticed, lost some of his ear as well. With this revelation that Shunsui is taking the helm, so to speak, they're now going to move forward and probably do some serious training to fight the Stirnritters again when they next meet. And that's the end of the chapter. I'm going to give this one... Oh, I don't know, it's just an aftermath chapter, and they're never usually as good. So I'm probably going to give it a 7. I wasn't too happy about the Byakuya revelation, and there wasn't any really huge bits of information. It's kind of nice to get these chapters because they do wrap things up, and it's probably not over yet either. We're probably going to have a few of these aftermath chapters, but they're good because they do tie the big events together. Not only this, but Shunsui looks like an absolute badass with his eye patch. Komamura lost an ear. And at least Yamamoto died. That's pretty major stuff, really, that Yamamoto got killed off. So what do you think of the chapter? Let me know in the comments below. Are you unhappy with Byakuya surviving? I've actually heard rumours that better translations state that they don't know if he's alive or not. It's still just Kubo prolonging it at the end of the day. What did you think? Do you like Shunsui? Do you think he looks cool? What do you think about him taking over Yamamoto's position? And yeah, let me know in the comments below what you think of this chapter and what you thought of the whole first invasion. Until then, catch you later.